Hey everyone, this week our camper's in the shop because we're making sure it's 100% ship shape before we're full-time on our land, which we will be in 2 weeks' time. Super excited.
Super.
I can't believe it's finally here,
Yeah.
around the corner.
Yep.
Since we are also showing our house and our house is empty, we thought, where are we going to, do the sleeping and the eating and whatever?
Once my mom heard this, she just said, "Come home." So
Yep.
we're here at my mom's. We are eating good. You're getting to
Mm-hmm.
sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
I get to do so much yoga and so many workouts. It's amazing.
Yeah, so she's spoiling us a little bit this week. She said, you know what, you guys have been going really hard. You're about to be go, go, go even more. Just come up here for a week and chill. So we said, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
But we were brainstorming what to do for a video, and we thought since we're not out there, why don't we do a frequently asked question video? You guys have been so amazing in the comments, great recommendations, very encouraging thoughts, but also a lot of really good questions that we might not have gotten to in our other videos. So we're going to take some time today and answer them.
Wanna get somewhere more comfy?
Yeah, let's find somewhere comfy to film the rest.
Let's do it.
Ready?
Yep.
It always takes a little getting used to the whole snap thing. We're dorks. It's fine. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Copper Desert Homestead. We are Jessica.
And I'm Jag.
And today we are answering your most frequently asked questions. I've got them here on Jag's phone so we don't forget anything. And we're going to go ahead and walk through them.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay. First question's for you. What are you doing for water?
So we have two neighbors that have already offered to well share with us. And every structure we build, I'm installing a rain harvesting system on it. And right away, the camper port's already been ordered, and I'm shopping for water tanks currently. So as soon as it rains,
That's the plan. And if you're wondering, do you get enough water in the Southwest?
if you have a big enough tank and you can store it, because it mostly comes in our monsoon season, which is coming up like end of July into November is our monsoon season.
So yes, you do.
Yep.
We crunch the numbers and they're there. And this is actually a way that is gaining popularity in the Southwest. So it is possible. The next question is, what are you planning to build your house out of?
We've looked at multiple styles, I guess if you want to call it.
Natural
Yeah.
materials.
We're leaning towards what they do with earth ships, which would be like rammed earth tire and straw bale. We've also looked at hyper adobe bags, super adobe bags, things like that.
So those are kind of our top contenders. We're going to be building some smaller structures so we can practice before we start building our house. So honestly, it's still going to be a while before we start on our house. We're probably going to go to some workshops. We might even send Jag to a workshop at the Taos Earthship community, which is in northern New Mexico. So a drivable distance for us. And if you're wondering, can we get permits for this stuff? Yes, we can. We've already talked to planning and zoning, and they actually encourage those kinds of buildings and things like gray water and solar, etc. Next question is, what kind of wildlife is out there, and are you worried about it being dangerous? There is a lot of wildlife out there, both benign and more predatory. As far as predatory wildlife goes, there are rattlesnakes, scorpions, javelinas, mountain lions. Oh my, sorry. I can't help it. But are we worried about them? Not really.
As long as you're situationally aware and teach your kids to be aware of their surroundings. We have guardian dogs, and they've already proven themselves against coyotes and javelina.
As far as scorpions go, it's kind of just common sense. Like, if your shoes are outside and you've had them off, shake them out beforehand. Don't stick your hand into a dark, cool place without checking first. And that's what we teach our kids, just like basic common sense, and you're going to be okay. I mean, I grew up out there my whole childhood. I feel like I was running around barefoot, and I really very rarely saw rattlesnakes. I've never seen a mountain lion. I know that they're out there, but I've never seen one. Javelina were generally pretty skittish. So I guess because of that, we're just not as worried as some people might be that haven't lived in this kind of space before. And in general, we're just kind of loud. We've got 3 rambunctious boys and we've got our dogs. And most wild animals genuinely just kind of want to be left alone and be in peace. However, if something did happen, that leads us to our next question, which is, are there any emergency services out there?
Yeah.
Yes, there are. Oh, and do you have any training? So I'll answer that one first. Yes, I do. I'm an ICU nurse, so I have my certifications in BLS, ACLS, and PALS. If that means nothing to you, basically, I have training in basic and advanced life support for adults and children. And I realize there's only so much you can do out in the field, but we at least have training in that until emergency service did get to us. So there is EMS and there is a local medical facility that's about 25 minutes away, but if we had an emergency, it would probably become more like 15 minutes away.
Your mom has worked at this facility. Your
Yeah.
brother was a paramedic for it, and you have some news to drop.
And now I work there, or I will be soon. So I just had an interview and they did hire me, which is really exciting. So let's jump down to that question since it kind of ties into this. People are wondering how we're affording this.
We've been pretty good on our savings for a while, and we've got about 4 months worth of the budget in our savings, and then the sale of our house will become the main budget for homestead projects. And since you've already been hired, you working part-time, especially once the house sells, that'll cover our budget once the mortgage and truck payment are out.
Yeah.
And I've been offered some odd jobs from friends at church and some of your family that's around there. And so there is some not steady, but income coming my way.
For you. Yeah. And Jag and I, we've gone back and forth our whole relationship, who's full-time, who's part-time, or who's taking time off, because Jag is really an entrepreneur at heart and those things take time. So we are looking at the homestead as a business and we plan on turning it into an LLC and growing that. What that will actually look like will kind of take shape over time, but we want to have workshops or summer camps or do a farm stand or permaculture design consulting. So that just takes time, but immediately we have our savings. Our house has had a lot of activity, so we're hoping it's going to sell soon. And then I have my part-time work. And to give you some numbers with that, PRN nurses, which PRN means as needed, and generally you're needed. So I'm not worried about getting shifts, but that's what I'm doing in our neck of the woods, meaning the southwestern United States. Generally, from my experience and from what I've heard from other nurses working around that area, the pay for a PRN nurse is usually between $45 and $50 an hour. We're pretty frugal anyways. So right now, if I was doing 2 shifts a week on that pay, we'd be able to cover our monthly expenses. But when we don't have our mortgage or our truck payment anymore, our monthly expenses are going to go down even more. So we're definitely going to be okay. So that will cover our month-to-month expenses, and then the money from the house will kickstart us on our homesteading expenses. And then if we need more income in the future, then
Adapt and overcome.
Adapt and overcome. So Jag can get a full-time job. It's just that his skills right now are in the building and constructing of our home more than mine are. So we feel like we need him there. And for me, I've already got a job, so we just work together. What kind of plants will you start with?
We're encouraging all the native life. We've got plenty of cacti and mesquite, creosote out there. They all have uses for humans already. And one of the first big projects is your kitchen garden. I'm excited to get started on that.
So excited. So we're kind of going to have the kitchen garden aspect of it. And then we have the native plant aspect, which will encourage what's already there. We have a lot of mesquite on our property, which are nitrogen fixers. So that means if we encourage them to grow by like burning up land around them, etc., so that it catches rain better, that will fix nitrogen in our soil and make our soil better. And we'll also plant other kinds of trees that do well in hot, dry climates, like citrus, like pomegranate, moringa.
Where are we getting the moringa from?
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to give a shout out to our friends at a little Dry Creek Ranch. They reached out to us. They're in Arizona as well, and they have a YouTube channel, and said whenever we're ready, they'll send us some moringa seeds. And we've had a lot of people reaching out to us for things like plants, or I had one woman reach out to me saying, do you want to join our all women's bow hunting group? I was like, that's awesome. So it's just cool the things that start happening when you put yourself out there. Um, so that's kind of our plan. So, like, step one is the kitchen garden, and then encouraging what's there and planting more native plants that do well in our climate. And once those are established, we can start planting more things that need a little more shade and that kind of thing. So, that's how we're starting, anyways. What animals are we starting with?
The boys are super excited for chickens, and we eat plenty of eggs.
So many eggs.
Like a dozen a day
Yeah.
is good.
So we have to, chickens were like a must.
And chickens are actually like predatory to snakes. So they keep rattlesnakes away and stuff too. So they're
Oh yeah, that's
they're
true.
good for that. And then as a meat source, we're going to start off with rabbits. I've raised them when I was younger. I know they're going to be an activity for the boys, taking care of the chickens and the rabbits. They're fairly easy to contain if you build a good rabbit hutch.
And
So
they're pretty low maintenance. So we just decided for beginner homesteaders, those were the two best animals to start with. And then we'll grow on from there. We're trying to be very careful about not biting off more than we can chew and then getting burnout. So that's where we're starting with animals. The last question is, are you worried about being too isolated? I think this is a really important question. I know I've described our land as being really rural, which I think gives some people the impression that there isn't anyone or anything for 50 miles around us. But that's not really true. What I mean when I say we're really rural is that we have a low population density. However, community is bountiful. We have neighbors down our dirt road. We've met all of them. We have a town that's about 20 minutes away. It's really two towns combined, but there are amenities there. So we have the church we're going to there. There's a community center, library, gym. There is a school if for some reason our kids didn't want to homeschool anymore. There is a medical facility I'm going to be working at. There's a grocery store. So even though it's small, it's a pretty well situated town with good amenities. And if we need more than that, there's a bigger town that's about a 45-minute drive. And then our closest big city is Tucson. It's about 2 or 3 hours away. So yeah, so I'm really not worried about being isolated. I'm not worried about our kids not having social skills. In a lot of ways, I think that community in rural areas can be even stronger than in cities just because you don't have as many amenities. You really do have to rely on each other. So I'm looking forward to becoming part of the community. That's really our last question. Keep them coming. We love answering them. Thank you for all of your wonderful, thoughtful comments. And I guess that's it for now. All
ready
right.
for it. Bye.
Bye. Where? Good catch.
Still there. You moved it lower. Gone.
Did we get that? Hello, friends. I'm having an issue. Okay.